Oh, I'm back. Grimpen has disappeared. Turn off his mic here. All right, well, it looks like the Capcom show is just about to start here. Whoops.
Super into puzzle mystery games, to be completely honest. But I mean, Ace Attorney just plays me. Obviously, I'm a big. I absolutely adore anime. So just seeing the protagonist being like, objection, like I'm just like, I am absolutely 100% here for it. Also, there's a character there named Chronicles.
I'm gonna post in the
I'm just like, I'm exactly. I was like, oh,
Discord here.
it's so smart, right?
Yeah, you'll be getting it, of course, Ace Attorney, the Chronicles here, the great Ace Attorney Chronicles, TV show released in Chronicles here on July 27th, and it's about time to go. This is what you've been waiting for. Capcom, the presentation is starting in 5, 4, 3,
200.
go.
Wait. Oh, whoops! I forgot to turn on sound for you guys. Luckily, I remembered just before the stuff started. Why did I talk like that? What's happening to me? I'm in a weird mood today. E3 exclusive. Oh, what's this gonna be? Brand new? Something brand new? Super Maga Man? I'm just gonna do a quick poll here. What are you excited to see at Capcom's show happening right now?
Welcome to the Capcom E3 Showcase. I'm your host, Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer, and I'll be your guide as we walk through the latest releases, news, and updates from Capcom. We'll hear from the Resident Evil Village team, share some news from the world of Monster Hunter, and get the latest on Ace Attorney. Then we'll wrap up with some updates from our friends at Capcom Fighters.
Attorney.
So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Our first stop today, Resident Evil Village.
Something Mega
The
Man.
Resident Evil franchise continues to pioneer the latest and greatest in survival horror. The team has been blown away by the response to Resident Evil Village, which launched last month. It brought the world another chapter in this decades-long story as the franchise celebrates its 25th anniversary this year. I'm honored to be able to introduce Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on Resident Evil Village, with a special message for the fans.
I'm pretty much only excited about other Resident Evil stuff. And something Mega Man.
There's nothing to fear.
Starting with Resident Evil 8.
She's everything to me.
Still super excited to play this, but I gotta play it in VR. Can't go back now.
Go on, rest now.
Hi everyone, my name is Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on
I
Resident
like the
Evil
way you
Village.
said hi.
I wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's
Hi.
played since we launched the game in May. We hope you're enjoying this new chapter in survival horror. As a reminder, everyone who purchases Resident Evil Village will gain free access to our online multiplayer title, Resident Evil R-Reverse, where players go head
R-Reverse?
to head with their
That's what
favorite
it's
Resident
supposed to
Evil
be
heroes
named?
and bioweapons.
That's how you're supposed to pronounce
I'm
it?
now happy to announce that Resident Evil R-Reverse will go live next month.
Oh, like
across all
R-Reverse.
supported platforms. So head into the fray to celebrate the Resident Evil 25th anniversary.
25th anniversary. That's pretty crazy. Oh. Interesting. By popular demand. I feel like
Thank you, Kanda-san,
they've got to
for
take
that wonderful
advantage
update.
of.
Next up, some long-awaited news
what's her
from the
name?
world of Monster Hunter. Whether it's adventuring alongside monsters or battling them with friends, we've got something for you. First, let's dive into the brand new story-based RPG entry to the series, Monster Hunter Stories 2,
Oh, Lady
Wings of Ruin.
is screwed. Dimit is screwed. They gotta capitalize more on that. They're smart. sad. What a sad way to start.
This was his fate. Red may have been strong and skilled, but against the awesome power of nature, he was merely a man. He never stood a chance.
All around, things just kept getting worse. But I heard that Guardian Ratha had survived and returned to Hekolu Island. I went there to see Red's old monstie again.
Monstie? What's a monstie?
Then, of course, that's when I met you.
You were given Red's kinship stone and now a Rathalos egg. This is destiny.
This is the legendary monster, Ray's Wing Ratha, the monster with the wings of ruin.
It's said that a beat of its wings can bring about waves of destruction.
Many people believe there's a connection between the strange happenings and
We're
the
gonna change
wings
the
of
title.
ruin.
Still looks like I'm playing Beyond
The
Good and
pits
Evil.
are appearing everywhere, and they're emitting a strange light.
I'm gonna change the title to Let's Watch Capcom Not Take Advantage of Their Awesome Franchises. Yeah. At least Resident Evil came back in a good way. There was a while where they were running that into the mud as well.
It's not about control. Monsters help riders of their own will. And
I know so little about Monster Hunter. This looks like a new game to me.
just like your bond with Tsukino.
What kind of power does Ratha really have? Why are all of
Ratha?
these pits
Like
appearing?
it's
And
Rathalos,
who are these
right?
people who want to take Ratha for themselves.
Why did I call him
All I
Ratha?
have are questions.
If there's worry or doubt in your voice, Ratha will become anxious too. He needs to know that you will protect him no matter what.
I can sense the flames of his life force weakening. The burden of such great power is too much for his body to bear.
A voice. Can you hear it?
This looks like it looks way more like a
Surely you can groove with fellow humans.
Xenoblade game to me.
They have the power of kinship. They're friends.
The
They're
Monster
monsters.
Hunter.
Humans carry the strength of
I don't know what this is.
everyone they
Is this DLC or something?
My friends here taught me that. I believe in the strength of humanity.
Well, Monster Hunter sold well, so I assume there's people who care about what's that. Oh, whoa, oh, okay. This is a new game. I gotcha. That's where I was confused. But that's just how little I know about Monster Hunter in general. All right. Wow. That's right away. You're doubling down on the Monster Hunter stuff, which, I mean, seems to be doing well for them. And Amiibo, wow. You can receive this by linking your save data with Monster Hunter Rise. Huh.
Looks pretty epic, right?
Yeah.
And how about that announcement? The canine companion Palamute from Monster Hunter Rise will be joining Monster Hunter Stories 2 as one of the new
Yeah,
monsties in the first free title
two of them in
update
a row
coming
was
soon
bad.
after the game's release.
Pretty epic, right?
You can get
How
an
about that
early peek at
announcement,
the game
right?
with the Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings
Pretty
of Ruin
epic,
trial
right?
version starting on June 25th, which also carries your progress over to the full game release just a few weeks later on July 9th. That's
she's
not
really
the only way to join the
committing to
hunt.
that.
Millions of you made Monster Hunter Rise a huge success
this-
earlier this year.
to
And we have
this
even more
hand
content coming, including a
gesture.
new collaboration on the Rise. Let's find out more.
She's really considered what she wants to do with her hands. decided this is good.
Let's go.
It's not a bad thing. I'm just pointing it out. I just find it interesting. Capcom collab. Wow. Wait, so it's just Capcom collaborating with themselves. And in between Monster Hunter games. That's not okay. Total collaboration. Exciting stuff. Hell? Capcom Collab 2 should be Resident Evil 8X Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg.
Tamura is like my second home.
You think you can take on Rondine?
All right.
There has never been a better time to be a Monster Hunter fan.
Is there
With
no?
all the new updates to Monster Hunter Rise and the launch of Monster Hunter Stories 2
There's
this
like
summer.
Capcom Collab
We can't
1.
wait to hear
but
about your own
is there another
stories of
Capcom
adventure.
collab?
Well, that's not the only thing Capcom has in store for us this July. Fans of Phoenix Wright will have new chapters to explore with the release of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
They did say they were going
North
to talk
American
about this.
and European
That's
future
fun.
attorneys will finally be able to get their hands on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures and the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, which were previously only available in Japan. You'll travel back in time to the late 19th century
Objection!
Japan and London to play as Ryunosuke Naruhodo, Phoenix Wright's ancestor, in this action-packed prequel. Now, let's hear more about the story.
It's kind of awesome. It's like a period
So then,
piece.
let us unravel this mystery.
Welcome to the centre of the world. Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
This country is incredible. I will become a lawyer. I have to.
Great aspirations. I just like the way
let us
courts
unravel
looked
this
back
mystery
then.
and discover what events led to this curious murder.
Who are you?
Her log shows.
Am I getting lots of fan?
We must
Roll back.
solve this case, Naruhodo-san.
Let us engage
A
in
little
the
worse
art
than
of
normal.
deduction. Mr. Naruhodo. Well, what have we here?
Or it might be the music actually too.
It would seem the truth is now tantalizingly close.
The defense demands its right to a cross-examination.
We stuck the chap next to him just like this. The scoundrel stabbing that mold man on the
Your
floor.
testimony completely contradicts the facts.
Aha! Good gracious!
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
I've never actually played an Ace Attorney game. They always look fun.
You're the best lawyer in the world.
Objection!
So we have 10 new cases and 8 mini escapades where you can take on the role of a defense attorney.
Alright, this has
Now,
got to be
we all
like.
want to see some gameplay, right? Let's take a
Oh.
closer first look at 2
No.
gameplay features new to
No-
the franchise in
nobody
the Great
wants- I
Ace
don't-
Attorney
we
Chronicles.
don't wanna see gameplay.
Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination.
We know, yeah, okay.
Hello, I'm Jonathan, Capcom's marketing brand manager for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
Where to?
The Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
The Capcom team is thrilled to present 2 new gameplay features, Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination, coming
Dance
to
of
the Ace Attorney
Deduction.
series.
While investigating to prove your client's innocence, players will come across conspicuous situations that require further examination with the help of Ryunosuke's legal aid,
Mr.
Susato,
Sholmes.
and the brilliance of deduction from Detective Herlock.
That guy looks right out of Leighton.
Herlock will proceed to present his logic and reasoning spectacular, a grandiose yet flawed series of conjectures.
So clever. How did he notice those enormous pairs of shears in his hand? Sholmes is a genius. Like, why would they do this? Oh, this is the dance of deduction.
Ryunosuke and Susato will then discuss to correct the flaws in Herlock's deductions. At this point, players will be prompted to search for clues that help identify the errors in the detective's logic and reveal the truth to the mystery. As players present new evidence and observations, Herlock will amend his deductions based on the new
Cascade of
information.
stunning golden locks.
Upon uncovering the truth, Ryunosuke and Herlock enter into a semi-metaphorical, semi-literal dance that brings them to the conclusion of the dance of deduction.
Oh, I couldn't even tell that was hair. I thought it was like a blanket or something. Yeah, that was a pretty big, like, she really screwed that up. Can't believe she didn't think to cut off her hair. I can't believe they're doing this. They're just showing gameplay without any audio, like without any voice acting. Ah, a ballerina on the run. Solved. The dance of deduction, elementary. Wow, so that was just the first one. Now we got the summation examination.
Players will attempt to convince 6 jurors of the innocence of their
Right.
client. Their progress will be displayed and
this is kind of
represented
a
by
waste
2
of
scales
time.
of justice, one black representing a guilty verdict, and one white representing a not guilty verdict.
Objection!
In summation examination, take the stand to face off against the jurors, all of whom provide explanations as to why they've reached their guilty verdict.
I don't know what Capcom was thinking that they had a show here. Let's check in with the chat.
You'll have to identify conflicting statements and sway the jury.
Who else
in your
doesn't
favor.
care?
Examine each statement carefully and select 2 contradicting jurors to call out the flaws.
Just
in their
end
logic.
this. No one cares anymore. Where's Mega Man?
Objection!
Wow, it's not even a lot of chat happening.
Be ready to provide evidence from the court record to help prove the contradiction in their claims. When you successfully point out one of these contradictions among the jurors, you might just change their minds too.
They
With a
did,
slam of their fist,
you know, they
each
basically
juror
did
you
announce what they
persuade
were
will
going to
send
talk
a
about
fiery
already.
ball towards the scales above and literally tip the scales of justice in your favor.
But, I mean, how stupid would you have to be to not include
Bring
a
each
surprise?
contradiction to light and persuade the jury to help
Guess you
prove
might
your
have to be as
client's
stupid as a video game company.
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
This has just been a small taste of the exciting new gameplay features in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are very excited to get this game in the hands of both new fans and diehard fans alike.
Wow,
Thanks for
finally
watching.
done.
It already seems like I have a bunch of games to catch up on. There are some exciting new adventures and titles to look forward to. Well, that's a look at the new premieres from Capcom, but what about esports? Let's close out today's showcase with a few words from two of the stars of Capcom Fighters, Rob TV and Vicious. They'll tell us what's been going on with Capcom Esports, including updates on the Capcom Pro Tour, Intel World Open, Street Fighter League, and all the other content on Capcom Fighters.
Not that I expected much more. I don't know.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Capcom Esports presentation for E3 2021. My name is Vicious, commentator for the Capcom Pro Tour as well as Street Fighter League, here with competitive Street Fighter V player
online news now. Looking at
Rob TV. What's going on, Rob?
Oh my goodness, Vicious. Host extraordinaire. That just sounds beautiful. It has a ring to it, and I think that's the perfect word to
announcements that Grimpen was talking about that I can retweet.
Street Fighter V, Capcom E3. It just feels right, and you feel the electricity in the air. Nice! What? That was nasty. And there might be some people at home, Vicious, who don't fully know what competitive Street Fighter V is. The long and the short of it is this. We travel all around the world, state to state, country to country, and we try to bring our opponent's life bar from 100 all the way down to 0 and feel pretty goddamn good doing it.
That's right, Rob. If you think you're the best in your region, sign up for Capcom Pro Tour to prove it and become possibly...
Polygon Ray just ran an article 3 hours ago that says Babylon's Fall might be good, actually. It's from the same director behind Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance and the Transformers game.
So in this year's CPT
interesting.
Overall,
if the combat's fun enough, I might be able to get into it.
$5,000 on the line for each tournament, but that money alone, that's not what's really at stake here. It's about making it to the granddaddy of them all, Capcom Cup.
Item just reset in grand finals of Capcom Cup.
So behind me, you can see in all of its glory, the Capcom Pro Tour 2021 official stage and set, and that's a place that you are very, very familiar with.
That's right, we take all of our events and broadcast it live from this stage, and we check out all of the top competitors from each and every one of these regions. And speaking of, the Capcom Pro Tour has shaped up a lot. 2021, we have 32 events going on in the Capcom Pro Tour, spanning across 19 different territories. So there's so many opportunities for players from around the world to get that ticket into Capcom Cup this season. I'm absolutely excited because, again, that is a big change.
I can't even remember what Grimpen was talking about today. He had a few announcements, but I can't even remember what they were.
Japan for the Capcom Pro Tour. Not only can you catch the Capcom Pro Tour live on the Capcom Fighters channel, you can do so on a plethora of platforms. We have it on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Of course, if you don't catch it live, you can also check out the VODs for all the competitive studying you would need to become a successful Street Fighter V player, as well as catching some of the community-focused content that we have on Capcom Fighters. We have No Neutral, the official pre-show of the Capcom Pro Tour. We have sets where we take players from around the world and play off in an exhibition first to 10. Not only that, actually, we do have Street Fighter League.
I can't remember what Grimpen was talking about.
Non-stop
Well, this is obviously the worst of the E3 shows by far.
To see who will walk away with the championship and the $150,000 prize pool.
Street Fighter League is something that you don't want to miss because
I didn't really expect much from them.
Have 1v1 content.
Everyone should download this video.
And every decision that you make is not just about
and are suffering.
More news on Street Fighter League later this year. It's Oki time. What's gonna happen? Nice. He checks it. He checks the movement.
Did this show Gex yet? Wow, that's become a thing now, by the sounds of it.
Let's not forget, the Intel World Opening is happening right now. Top players representing 11 regions around the world are competing for their place in the World Finals happening next month. Be sure to check out the official website for more information, including current standings and broadcast schedule.
To commemorate this event, everyone who logged in during this period will receive an exclusive competitor title and dojo object. You do not want to miss this.
I highly recommend everyone to stay tuned for future Capcom Pro Tour updates on the Capcom Fighters channel.
And again, we've had so many events so far. We started off with the Japan
Rumor
region.
report
We've had a
that
couple more events
Rare's
going on
huge
afterwards,
Xbox
but the
exclusive
action does not
Everwild
stop.
has
In fact,
been
we're
pushed
gonna
to
be continuing on
2024.
with the
It's a pretty
Midwest
long time.
region for the Capcom Pro Tour. I know you're definitely excited about that.
100%. I mean, of course, your boy is from Ohio. Make sure you guys tune in to see the tournament.
You do not want to miss some of the best Street Fighter V players in the world compete head-to-head.
So it's you. I dare you.
Well, this is the lamest,
Street Fighter. I dare you.
the lamest presentation possible. They couldn't have made it less interesting.
Obviously, they got a rivalry.
I'm the best in the world.
This game has changed the lives of so many people here.
That's the thing. Sometimes the corporations just don't even, they're like not even, they don't know what an E3 show is or what it needs to be to make anybody happy. Actually, I would say 90% of the time they don't. And just every once in a while, a company will land
Thanks, guys. It's
a
been a
decent
really
show
exciting
just
season so
just
far,
by
and
a fluke.
I can't wait to see how this plays out on the road to Capcom Cup.
Like
Remember
this
to check
year,
out
I felt like
Capcom Fighters'
Xbox's
Twitch and YouTube channels for more
and
information
Square
and
Enix's
to watch
weren't
the
bad
latest
because they had
matches.
a decent amount of
So
stuff to
that's a
show.
wrap for Capcom
It just
at
lines
E3
up
this year.
sometimes.
Let's recap what we all saw. Resident Evil
Really,
Village
you're gonna
is back
recap
with
it.
the latest installment of the survival horror
It's
experience
back.
and RE Verse as part of the franchise's
we know.
25th anniversary.
Like this is
We
not
have new
even,
adventures
none of
to
this is
embark on in
news.
the world of Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin,
That,
and
I guess,
Monster
is
Hunter
news.
Rise. And don't forget to go back in time with the great Ace Attorney Chronicles to tap into the family history of
I
Phoenix
mean,
Wright
like I
and
know
solve
they're
new
always
cases.
just
Finally, don't miss
bad
out on
marketing
the esports fun.
pitches.
Make sure
but
you
this
catch
was,
the latest matches with Capcom
this was
Fighters.
really bad.
There really is something for everyone here today. But
Really?
don't go anywhere yet. Join the conversation on Twitter and make sure you check out the Capcom virtual booth on the
I don't
E3
think
portal to
you're
watch
gonna
all
like the
these videos
conversation
again and more.
on Twitter.
I'm Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer. Thank
Rachel.
you for being part of the Capcom experience at E3 this year.
Wait, did you see it? AKA Seltzer? I missed that. Wow. That was a giant waste of time. But, hey, Lenny D, welcome. Perfect timing. The very end of Capcom's lame show. Good to see you, though. What have you been up to? I did see you and Green Rabbit did some biking. That looked fun. More fun than this Capcom show for sure. Check in with the chat one more time here. Shame, Capcom.
Welcome
F.
back, and that is a
Don't
wrap
cry. What a waste of
on
time.
Capcom's presentation. I thought that rhymed for a second, and then I was gonna go, that rhymed, and then I was like, that didn't rhyme.
I love seeing the wheel. I saw the
You
gears
saw the
turn,
wheel
I'm
Yeah.
like,
turning.
Wait, what?
I was like, that doesn't rhyme at all. It's just
Lame.
day 3, and I'm
That's it.
just feeling
Wow,
it. folks.
boo.
I'm feeling it, yeah.
Yeah, people are
not
mad
gonna
now.
lie though, that certainly got me amped. We saw a lot of great titles there, and we're gonna go into more depth about Great Ace Attorney
Yeah, I love, I love checking in
all
with
the
the
stuff that we
chat.
saw
They're
drop with
always
Resident Evil, but we
angry,
wanted
no
to
matter
focus
what.
on
Even if it
Monster
was a
Hunter
great
little
show,
bit more here.
everyone's
Without a
angry and they're
doubt,
like, "Where's this game that I
absolutely hyped
wanted?"
for Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. That was a new trailer that we saw, and that one got me in the feels.
It's the one where, and I think I saw this on the internet, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, but the first use of monsties, it seems like people weren't familiar with the term monsties, and now we all are. So hashtag monsties, get it out there right now.
I am.
I
all
don't
for
like that. I don't
hashtag.
like the
Yeah,
term monsties.
But for me, when it comes to
I'm not
these
gonna
narrative
hashtag
stories,
monsties.
the story has to be good. You know what I mean? And it's hard to tell with.
Lenny D
these
says it was fun. Your
trailers
commentary
sometimes,
since I've been here
I'll
has
be like,
also been
okay,
fun
this
for
game
me. Oh,
looks
thanks, Lenny
fantastic,
D.
or the animation is there. But am I
trying.
going to get into this story? And
There was not, there
somehow
wasn't much I
this
could do for
trailer
that one.
conveyed that. I think for me, what stood out.
But we got
was,
Nintendo's tomorrow,
hearing, I think it was
and Grimpen's going to be there for
Michael's new
Nintendo's.
crush. She's like,
So there'll be even more complaining
eyes. He,
and
like, lit up as soon as,
disappointment
that
to
little
spread
lady
around.
came up on the screen. But I think she was like telling the
So that'll be
protagonist
fun.
something like, you know, this monster
Hashtag
can
monsties,
sense fear,
apparently.
can sense anxiety.
They used the
And
word monsties in
Monstie.
one of
I'm
those
sorry,
trailers, and I was like, what the? What?
For years of saying monsties. Why they didn't change the name to Monstie Hunter, I don't know.
I'm sorry,
Monstie Hunter. Yeah.
you know, we all have that
Yeah, not much else is going on. Hey, Lenny D, did you see? I don't know if you have been noticing the music section, but there was one post I made a while ago that I was like, oh, I bet you Lenny D would like this. The Dead Pirates. Have you ever heard of the Dead Pirates? Just because it was a kind of similar vibe to No One Does It Like You, that song, which I've listened to a lot. Anyway, check. Whoops. Check these guys out.
Sometimes, you know, these trailers, they go so hard with being like, look at all the action, look at how cool this is. Like,
Yeah, well, that was, well, I mean, Grimpen always says it's going to be a waste of time, but he was right about this one for sure. That was a true waste of time. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of weird stuff in that music section, of course, so it's a little hard to pick through. I've been posting lots of weird stuff. Lacko posts lots of weird stuff. But that's one that I thought for sure. I think you, and I bet you Green Rabbit would like that band too. They're one of the weirdest bands I've ever heard. But they're like, yeah, they're really cool. And that's the only video that they have. And it's like one of the band members like does the art for it as well, and it's all like this really freaky like 20s kind of like an animated movie from the 20s kind of art, but like freaky. Yeah, it's awesome. Wait, what's this?
Welcome to the Razer Keynote at E3.
The Razer Keynote.
We have got an insane show for everyone today. We have come a long way here.
This is the worst E3 in years. It's like we didn't even get an E3 last year, man. Settle down. It's not bad. This actually been a kind of amazing E3 because there's been so many shows. That's why people are complaining about how short the Capcom show was. But it's like Capcom usually doesn't even have a show. I expected it to have about half an hour. I thought they would announce something though, something else. They didn't. But there's been tons of shows this year that have been like by companies that have never done an E3 show before, and that's awesome to see. Just these little short half-hour shows. There's little announcements and all these. And the Ubisoft, I mean not Ubisoft didn't do a great show, but Xbox and Square Enix did. They were all right shows. They had some they had some stuff that they were sitting on, and it was all right. Made for some decent shows. And we'll see if Nintendo can keep up that kind of streak. Lenny D says we have lots of Razer products, so maybe you'll be fascinated by this. This might be right up your alley. This looks, it's like so fascinating.
In 2018, we launched the world's smallest 15-inch gaming laptop, and since then, we've now got the
like, what do people expect from this? Like, it's not going to be games. It's just going to be what the fuck is happening? Like, what do people expect from this stuff? Whatever. The Razer Blade.
It's been called the very best gaming laptop in the world and continues to win accolades over.
Yeah, they're supposed to be good. I've never had one. Any Razer products.
Many of our fans, many of the Razer community is asking.
Yeah, well, hopefully Nintendo can keep up the streak of just being a decent show, and by streak I mean Xbox, and Square Enix. Capcom was terrible, but as long as it's not terrible, it'll be all right. It might even be the best show of E3. So that's at 9 a.m. PST tomorrow, which is, you know, depending on your time zone, it's not that bad. For us, it's at 10 Mountain Time. Grimpen will be here, and then we might even play some Beyond Good and Evil after that. But I'm going to go because I don't care about the Ultimate Game laptop. And it's supposed to be a storm. Everything wants to storm. It's been storming around the province And we had like a little bit of a storm earlier today, but I'm hoping we get something tonight. It'd be awesome. Get some lightning or something would be fantastic. We'll see. But anyways, thanks for hanging out with me, Lenny D. Even through that sad corporate advertising. And of course, Tiny Observer was here earlier. Just missed the end of Beyond Good and Evil. We already thanked Evil Bun, Alex KC, and Lacko and Green Rabbit for being here earlier. It's a fun show. Panic was ridiculous as always. I got to make some clips of Panic because it's totally nuts. Anyway, that's it. Well, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow morning, and then of course Wednesday for gaming history. Go Boat if you haven't. Some soccer on there. This is kind of not a great week, but yeah. And then I'm out of town, and Grimpen's gonna host Hitman by himself on Friday. Oh, and more Toonstruck on Wednesday as well. So it's gonna be awesome. Lindy says, hopefully Nintendo brings something we don't know. Yeah, totally. They got to be sitting on at least some unknown announcements. Whether they'll be good, it's hard to say. I'm super excited to see the new whatever the new Smash Bros. Character is. Could be terrible. I'm still excited to see it. I'm used to being disappointed. The last three haven't been great. Yeah, I'm used to being disappointed by Nintendo, so I'm sure there'll be some of that. But you never know. Hopefully they're sitting on something awesome. It's going to blow up their anus. Perfect way to end the show. See you tomorrow.